Thank you for your interest in the Retained Recruiter Show, powered by iIntro. Before the show starts, I have a small favour to ask of you. Our goal is to provide you with the most insightful, helpful and practical recruitment knowledge and know-how from the best in the recruitment industry. If you like this channel and enjoy watching our content, hit the subscribe button to get notified as soon as we upload a new episode. Thank you again, and as ever, we're rooting for your success. Now, time for the show. Hello and welcome to a very special Retained Recruiter Show. My name is James.
And my name is Jo. Thank you so much for joining us on this, James, our 100th show.
Absolutely fantastic. Isn't it great that we've actually made 100 shows? I can't believe it, Jo, in terms of when we just started this off as an idea that really sort of stemmed from the Retained Recruiter Academy that we run together. And here we are, 100 shows later. Who would have thought that?
Not us, that's for sure. And look at us, we've got t-shirts. We've got free t-shirts for 100. What do we get for 200, do you think?
Oh, probably gold Rolex.
Well, that'd be nice. That'd be really nice. But yeah, I think this is really exciting. Yeah. This is really exciting. I mean, if anyone wants to go and watch any of our other 99 shows, they are all on YouTube. And we've had some amazing guests over these 100 shows, haven't we, James? And we are very excited, slightly trepidatious, that we're going to be inviting quite a few of them onto this show today.
Yeah, I think we think we may be pioneering this one, because normally these shows we have one or two guests, normally from the same company if there's more than one. But today we're actually we're hoping to share the thoughts and ideas from 13 of our guests who are going to be joining us live. So it's going to be a real mishmash and a little melange of actually just getting people in and out of the studio, so to speak, to have their 5 minutes. But Jo, these 100 shows that we put together, it's the 100th show, the 99 before us. It's remarkable the amount of time and effort and investment that our guests have actually helped us put in, in terms of to make these shows so rewarding and so insightful for so many people. We've had some amazing feedback over the years.
Yeah, we have, absolutely. How many years is it that it's taken us to do 100 shows? Is it 3?
I think it's 4. It's 4. We started them out in 2022, just after the COVID, all the COVID things had started to die down. I think we then came out because we started the Retained Recruiter Academy in 2019, just about a week before. A couple of months before the COVID settled in. So yeah, we're delighted to have been able to do that. And I'd say the feedback that we've had, and the insights that have come from our guests, and so we're hoping to share with them. So Jo, what's our main theme and topic for today?
So, we're going to be over the 100 shows we've had, as you said, we've had an awful lot of guests on. You and I have also done some shows, and every single one of those shows has been about trying to give insight, trying to just give back to the industry and give some insight for recruitment business owners, recruitment directors, even recruiters just running their own desks. It can be a real struggle, I think, when you're in the thick of things. The economy hasn't necessarily been great for a lot of people, and these shows have been about sharing insights, sharing best practice, and sharing good tips and good ideas of how to run a really, really effective and efficient recruitment desk and a really effective and efficient recruitment business. And so today it's about going back really to all of those things, what recruiters still get wrong, because we do, and also what's working. So what's working in 2026. And as you said before, we've got about 13 guests. We can rattle through some of those names for you now.
Let's just introduce them one by one. I think we're ready to get started, Jo, because the backstage studio, the green room, is actually getting chock-a-block with guests, so they're all eager to have their say. So,
and also, James, if I could just say, our comments are open, so we're taking live questions. If anyone wants to come and say hi, so Donald's on. Hi, Donald. Joe's on. Shout out to Michael Chambers. I know you're there somewhere as well. But if you do have any questions for any of our guests, or just questions in general, please pop them in the chat, and we will fire them at our guests. They're not expecting that, are they? But they'll
we'll see. We'll see how many they get. Well, Jo, listen, we're going to bring into the room our first guest, and our first guest, I'm hoping, is going to pop up on screen now. And by the wonders of technology, come on, there he is. He's laughing as much as we are because he doesn't realise that we don't know what we're doing here. It just hoping all this it's settling in. So listen, I'm delighted to welcome back our very first guest back in February 2022, Chris Hickey, Managing Director of Mercury Hampton. And Chris, we're so appreciative of the fact that you were our very first guest, and we're so delighted you're here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us again, guys. And it's been good to be part of the journey.
Indeed. Well, we're delighted that you've joined us. I love the backdrop because I know obviously over the last 4 years, I think your business has moved on immensely as well. So I think you've been doing some amazing things, Chris. So delighted to be, we're delighted to be part of your journey as well, by the way.
Yeah, good. No, it's been really, really good working with you guys, and it's definitely been a key part of pivotal part of our success as a company as well. So we are really really appreciative of the work we've been able to do together. And for those watching this who are not an iIntro customer, the service and the support received is second to none. So get yourself involved if you're already not involved.
And we're not paying Chris a thing for that either. That was free advertising. Right, thanks, Chris. Bye. I love it. 100th show, everyone just comes on and tells us how great we are, and then we go away. I think we'd love to take all the credit, but we absolutely genuinely can't. Your business is just absolutely skyrocketed. Please go and look at the journey. Chris, I'm sure you're very happy to talk to anybody, share your knowledge about how to build a really, really successful recruitment business, because it's not easy, is it? It's not all a walk in the park.
It's tough. It's really tough, especially what I would say is, especially in the last 12 months, if anyone, as we all know, the market has shifted a little bit, a lot, and we're all part of that. And the UK economy's been quite challenging, and so we're all feeling it, and we're all doing our best to innovate and be the best we can be. And I think innovation's key now moving forward in our sector, and the ones who innovate and work hard are the ones who rise to the top, in my opinion. So, and that's really all we've done. We haven't done anything. We haven't got a magic wand or anything. We just worked hard and innovated, and that's it, really. So
I think you're being very modest, Chris. Personally, I think in terms of you look at your journey when you set the business up, based in Newton the Willows, which for those of you who are out of the UK, and even for those in the UK that's in the northwest of England, you started off with one office, and now you've expanded into the US and doing fabulously well. You've added extra services to your business. I know you're looking at further expansion into other parts of the world when they become a little bit quieter as well. So I think your story is one where you've gone from strength to strength, where you just start off you and a couple of the guys, and now you're how many strong people are you at the moment?
There's circa 30 of us at the moment, but we've expanded the initially when we set the business up, it was primarily an executive search company, so that was really all we did. Well, not all we did, still bloody hard, but that was really what we focused on. But over the last couple of years, we've established a contract business as well. And I think we've got probably, about 200 contractors now. So it's that really has made a difference to what we're doing. And I think, it certainly made a difference as well in the with the perm market being a little bit under threat at the moment. So just having that alternative service has really helped. And like you said, just touching on what we said earlier, we've diversified services. We do a whole bunch of different diagnostics solutions, all different types of hiring. And we also now offer post-hire services in the form of business transformation, executive coaching, and performance optimization. So yeah, we've really diversified what we did. But again, the first bit of that was getting access to the support for my intro and McQuaig, and it all just organically evolved, probably on the back of the technology and the stuff that McQuaig can do. McQuaig is a brilliant institute, and that's formed some of the foundations for us to springboard forward. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. That's really good. I think diversification, innovation. Brian's come in with a question, which is great. So he said, you mentioned innovate. What sets you apart from other exec search firms? And I think a lot of it is that, isn't it? It's the constantly looking at how can we provide more additional services to our clients. If you would, I suppose, 5 minutes isn't a very long time. So based on your experience, Chris, what would your kind of top tip be to a recruitment business owner if they're wanting to really get ahead and stand out in the market right now?
I think optimizing technology and automation really at the moment. I'm sure it's no shock to anyone listening to this. There's big threats from AI at the moment in our sector, and internal talent teams and all different types of stuff coming into the market now. I just think diversifying, looking at associated services is a key thing, but really automation, getting organized, getting slicker, and turning that attention to the things that matter, such as generating more clients, but looking after the ones we've got. I think we put all the work in to win this new customer, and then sometimes they can get neglected, not intentionally, but just ring fencing the customers you've got. I think's a key bit of advice for me at the moment.
Yeah, Chris, I think in terms, we're going to have to get you back on the show, because I think there's so much more that we can share. So listen, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us today.
Guys.
I know your time is valuable. Thanks very much, and we'll see you again next time.
See you again, guys.
Bye, Chris.
See you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Great, and hopefully the wonders of technology will now give us our next guest. I'm delighted to share the stage and share the screen, so to speak, with our next guest, who is Mark Whitby.
Hi, Joe. Hi, James. Great to see you. Congrats on 100 episodes. That's awesome.
Thank you. I mean, that's small fry compared to you, Mark. But we are trying, and we're all branded up as well. I see. Look, we're learning from the best.
Yeah.
Well, look, 100 episodes shows real. Like, you're serious when you've got 100 episodes, right? You're not playing around. This is a legit show. So that's a huge accomplishment.
Well, Mark, you're way ahead of us on the number of shows that you do, because your podcast is amazing, and I'd urge people who've not listened to it to check in. In terms of it's a podcast we've sponsored for you in the past as well, from my intro. But guests you have are really insightful recruiters, and I've done that. And I was just thinking the other day when the King was talking in I think it was in the wherever they speak in America, he was talking to all those senators and those congressmen, and he said, just 250 years ago, or as we'd call it a short while ago. Probably a bit of you. You remember when you went through 100, Mark, a short while ago? It's probably some time.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, excited to be here today and talk about what's happening in the industry, because things are changing faster than ever before. And it's an exciting time, but it can also be a scary time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, we've literally got you for 3 minutes, which is almost impossible. Okay. Mark, so you're going to have to speak really, really quick. Bestow upon us your pearls of wisdom.
Okay, so I think the biggest mistake recruiters are making right now is doing the same thing as everyone else, and your message just gets lost in the noise. Example would be blasting out cold emails or in-mail messages, hoping to get the attention of your ideal clients or candidates. Now this one might surprise you guys, James and Joe, because we teach AI and automation strategies. We did a training on Clay that I know you participated in, James, and that certainly has a place for tracking signals, funding rounds, job openings, job changes, all that stuff, so you can follow up at the right time. But what is actually moving the needle for our clients right now is higher friction activities that are difficult to automate and scale. And that's why they work, because it involves more effort and potentially more investment. And so many recruiters just can't be bothered or are intimidated to even try. So examples, events, attending events that your clients go to, or even better, hosting your own event and starting to build a community, right? That's something that AI can't do. It's something that you can't automate. Bringing people together in person and making that human connection gives you the opportunity to assume a leadership role within your ecosystem that you serve, right? We've had lots of clients and people on our podcast who've had success with that. One who spoke at one of our events recently is Kyle Winterbottom from Orbition. So he has a podcast called Driven by Data, and he also hosts events for chief data officers. And that community-based strategy of being in person has led to them absolutely, their growth in profits has been phenomenal, and it's generated tons of inbound, all retained work as well. Things like personalized video messages, even personalized landing pages, like really leaning into authentic, not just personalizing through a spreadsheet and an automation tool, but authentic personalization through video and bringing people together in person. That is, I think, the more prevalent AI becomes in communication, the more we need to lean into the strategies that can only be done by humans. So phone calls, videos, something super basic, guys. When I launched my business almost 25 years ago in 2001, the way that I launched was direct mail letters followed up by phone calls. And what's funny is that actually works again, because people get 200 emails a day and you just get lost in your prospect's inbox. But how many letters do they receive? Almost none. So you send them a well-written letter, or ideally a series of letters, and you follow up with phone calls. You have a much better chance, not instead of, but in addition to the emails, the LinkedIn messages and everything else, you have a much better chance of actually getting their attention.
Right.
Yeah,
Mark,
I love that.
I love
that. To be human.
Yeah. One last thing I want to share, Mark, is you talked about attending events. And I know you've got a very special event for your 25th anniversary. And I'm assuming people can find details on your website.
Yes, please. So if they go to recruitmentcoach.com/summit, we're hosting our Dallas Live Summit September 9th and 10th. So yeah, and I'm hoping you can come, James.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to be sponsoring that, so we'll be back in touch on that one soon. Mark, listen, it's been great to have you here today. Appreciate all your efforts. We're going to need to get you back again as well.
Fun.
Got those little things you have, fantastic. But thanks very much for joining us today.
All right, take care.
Thanks,
Bye
Mark.
now. Thank you. Bye,
James.
Bye.
Just to mention as well, The Resilient Recruiter is Mark Whitby's podcast, and it's amazing. So, go and find it.
Absolutely. So our next guest is just going to join us now, and he's been with us a couple of times, and we've got Ian Knowlson from Talence. So Ian, thank you very much for joining us. I know you've got it on a busy, hectic schedule, so thankfully we've got a really hectic schedule too. So
well, listen, guys, like everybody else, congratulations. I mean, getting 100 is really good. For a Yorkshireman to get to 100 and not out, you'll have Sir Geoffrey on next, James.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
We're not having that.
I'm not having that, lad. I know. Anyway, listen, guys. Go on, Joe.
I was going to say, it's great to have you on again, even if for a much shorter, a tenth of the time that you're normally on for. We're asking everybody the same thing. So Ian has been in this industry for a number of years. He's very insightful with recruitment business organizations. We've asked you on here because there's still an awful lot that I think recruiters could be doing to push ahead and be more effective in 2026. So we'd love to get your insight on that in 4 minutes, Ian, just to
4 minutes. Get it in. Right. Well, listen, I'm going to endorse everything that Mark just said because he's right. Totally agree with him. But I'm also going to build on what he said because I think we're in a world where he's right. We have to differentiate. People have to grasp technology, though. The biggest challenge that recruiters in the recruitment agency space have is their single biggest threat is coming from employers. And the employers are automating at a phenomenal rate. It's very easy for large multinationals, FTSE 100, Fortune 500, to invest millions in AI to automate their recruitment processes. So that's why I like what Mark said. He's correct. We have to come up with delivering services and solutions that are different. And for me, what I like about it is what we've talked about many times, Joe and James, which is it's about relationships. It's about value. Where's the value that we add? I don't want to be rude, but, recruiting pickers and packers in a warehouse is not the future of recruitment agencies. It's got to be in where's the niches that we can add value. Is it technology? Is it engineering? Is it life sciences? And if I was to look at the clients that I'm working with across the world, those that are flourishing, even in the current economic climate, are doing exactly that. They are leaning into those sectors which require niche knowledge, which require expertise, and which want a service. And that's why I love what I intro do, because, you talk about how long I've been in the industry, Joe. I was doing specialist permanent recruitment using some of your structured methodologies before computers even existed in our industry. And, I nearly got my old, pop-up cards, flip cards, and the Rolodex out on the desk just to show you. But there you go.
No,
anyway, James.
Stop it. This is what James was doing before. So this was when you started in recruitment with the back in the olden days. Hello, welcome to the Retained Recruiter Show.
Very good, Joe.
With that comes all this wisdom, and I think one of the things that you're talking about there is and Chris Hickey mentioned it before as well. It is diversification. It's innovating. It's looking into the niches and the sectors that are progressive, where they're still going to need you, but also looking, we spoke about this loads, those additional services, those additional consultancy services that you can add that are above and beyond just sending CVs into clients.
Absolutely. 100% right. 100% right.
Good.
So, I sense you want to say something, James.
Yeah, well, listen, Joe's back in full colour. I was going to say, Joe, it's about time you come back to the future and actually get back into true technicolor, multicolour, and see how that's working out. But no, Ian, what's you've got some things on lined up to, because obviously one of the things you share with people are insights on the outlook on the market. So when's your next one coming out?
We got another Green Shoots show coming out next month. That's as of tomorrow, isn't it? It's 2 weeks' time. It's being co-hosted with a guy called Sam Steele. Sam works for Kingsbridge, who are businesses that provide insurance cover to agencies and freelancers. And then the month after, we've got the lovely Tony Hodgkinson from Paystream. And then finally, we get Emma Puddle from Simplicity. And all of those businesses work supporting the recruitment agencies in the UK and across the world. And therefore, they got their perspective and seeing their green shoots in the market. So I feel at the moment it's good timing. We've now got a phenomenal open rate. We're getting about 40% open rate on our, in fact, the latest open rate was 38.9. So we've gone down 0.1. So yeah.
Good. Well, listen, Ian, we're looking forward to welcoming you back, and from that side of things. So we're going to, kick you out, so to speak, let you get on with your day. You're heading down to the southwest. So have a great event down that way, and we'll say goodbye. It's farewell. We'll see you again very soon. And
I'll see you on a golf course somewhere not far away at some point in the near future. Okay.
Get out of it. Kick him out.
Take care. Bye for now.
And our next guest, I'm really looking forward to our next guest, who's also a client of My Intros. And we're about to be joined by, get this right, Alex Barker. There she is. I just can't get used to the new name, obviously, from that. So congratulations on adopting a new name. I know it wasn't.
Thank you.
You've been
it was only because I needed a new passport. That was it. I thought,
there you go. Well, that's a way to make your husband feel really positive. Well done, Alex.
Romance is not dead.
Yeah, I should say Alex runs a business called Clear Executive Search. And so, Alex, we're delighted to join you and welcome you back to our 100th show, which I really do appreciate.
Thank you. Congratulations. I did like the comment by Ian about being a Yorkshireman, actually, getting to that stage. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So, Joe, over to you. Let's ask
Yes,
Alex
absolutely. So Alex, your business has been on quite a journey, hasn't it? And we've been there for some of it. We're very fortunate to have been there for some of it. And the trials and tribulations and the transitioning from one type of recruitment to another. I think we'd love to get your thoughts and your tips that you could give to others who may be in a similar position.
Yeah, I think it's about change. I think long are the days. I remember when I first started, nearly 25 years ago, at Ellis Fairbank, and we used a fax. And we picked up the phone and we had a fax, and that was it. And everybody would crowd round there waiting for things to come in. And we didn't have the Google and getting all links. So you just had to make them yourself. So that taught us at the beginning on how to really, if you've got nothing else here and you had, a power cut, what would you do? And I think sometimes going back to the basics is brilliant. But through the journey, I would say that since COVID, it's been quite a difference in learning about retainers, the benefits of retainers, and really having that confidence to say, that's the only way that I work. This is the way that I work, and actually just leaving it there. And I think over the years, you start to add benefit, your values, your retention rate. But that kind of comes back to intro. So I first started, Joe, with listening to your little podcast that you used to do, watching those little webinar things about how to do retainers over COVID. And that's where we came. And then obviously being with you, I think it's almost 2 years now.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
And learning that it's not just about the CV that you get, it's the insight. And I don't think people are looking at the insight. And in my business, I'm talking about science. And now I'm recruiting in science. So it's quite a nice little script to say to my customers when we're talking about, you know, previously, how did you build your teams? How did you know that those people were all going to get together and work together nicely? And they said, well, we didn't. And they did have casualties and it did upset the team. Whereas now we have the benefits of using the intro package with everything that comes with it, with the psychometrics, to actually build coherent, you know, sustainable teams within a business, you know, and it's happy all around. And I think that is the key thing. You know, everybody talks about using AI. I use AI to a degree. I use my Fireflies, helping me writing those lengthy profiles that people hate writing and often leave it till the last minute. That's me. But I love the human touch, but I like the additional technology that comes with that, with the videos, with the pictures, with the psychometrics. And I think now you learn more from somebody on a video in that first couple of minutes than what you'd learn from just looking at that CV. Far more insight. And I think that that is where everyone should be in 2026. You know, I love it. You know, I've sold so many retainers off the back of it. You know, the new one, they've never used a recruiter. They're a startup. Very, very nervous.
Yeah.
I love what you said when I've won the multiple retainers that you've won. I think that's just testament to, it's testament to the perseverance and tenacity that you've had to go out there and change the way that you work. You know, you're not new to recruitment, so we've seen those things, and you're obviously not new to animal welfare either.
Who's beating the dog?
I know, that's mine. You can tell this show. That's it.
When it showed you, you've got a little dog.
Yeah. I know. Proof it's a live show.
Alex, we've had a little question for you. What's your residual client value? What have you achieved in the, you know? And remember, you're a sole trader. I think that's really important as well. So,
just of late in the last year, mine has actually gone up to 100%.
Oh, fantastic!
Actually, with the 100.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it did go up. I think mine was quite high anyway, because I handle recruitment, I build relationships, so.
And I think it's all about sort of understanding sort of, you know, where you fit the marketplace. So, well, listen, Alex, it's been great having you here today.
Great to see you as always.
We appreciate. We'll have to get you back and to tell your story, because your story it just resonates with so many people who are out there as solopreneurs, thinking, how can I do things differently, and will it work for me? And I know you're a true advocate. So congratulations to you on your success over the last years.
Thank you. Congratulations to you guys.
Thanks, Alex.
See you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Well, next we're going to bring in the chairman of iIntro, Joe. We're actually going to bring him in, and also the co-founder of iIntro as well. So we'll start with Plamen Ivanoff. So he's going to join us. So, you know, he's been on our show a couple of times as well in the previous 99 days. There he is, looking dapper.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, nice to see you, Plamen. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah, and for our 100th show, which is fantastic. It's great to have you here.
Well, what can I add to this wonderful audience there, and everybody that's been attending and obviously speaking of their own personal success stories, etc. What I'd say in summary is that we started this one many years ago. In 2012, I stood up in front of a group of people and came up with a concept. There was nothing that currently resembles iIntro. And 2 years later, we started off with a process that ultimately now evolved in a very sophisticated recruitment machine with over 350 recruitment clients worldwide and nearly 300 million in retained recruitment fees. I always say to people that I don't think it works. I know it works, and there is plenty of evidence of it. I'm really humbled that something that's started as an idea has now become a brand that people implement in their businesses all the time, and having obviously achieved the results that I mentioned earlier. Obviously, that's not happened on my own. I'm now the background, and the people that lead it from the front.
Look who we've got here for you. It's like surprise.
I was just going to say, are we going to get the full team? For the 18.
Plamen, I can hear you very clearly, but for whatever reason, I don't think I can hear James or Joe.
What, you can't hear me now?
We'll leave.
No. So
Plamen
can obviously hear you. So Plamen might need to translate, which is English to Bulgarian back to English.
Plamen, ask Paul to introduce himself and give us his one big tip.
I can't hear Joe either.
Paul, there is obviously the technology limits only one guest at a time, I guess. So with this in mind, I'm just paraphrasing what Joe just said to me. Could you please introduce yourself, tell us your journey and where you are and which way we're going?
Sure, yeah. So Paul Hickey, first and foremost, Plamen and James's business partner. Plamen and I started a recruitment company together 20 years ago, and a contingency business. And we got hit by the financial crash. We grew quite quickly, and that was an awakening. And we decided that we wanted to do recruitment a little bit better than everybody else. To be fair to Plamen was constantly saying, why are you doing this contingency recruitment? It doesn't really make any sense to me, coming from different industries, financial industries and property industries. So that's all we know. We're just young lads trying our best. And as it turns out, he was promoting the concept of trying to get into a contract with the company so that they shared the risk, and it was a true partnership, which in recruitment, I suppose, we call retained in whichever capacity or format that is. So we set about doing it, and at the time, things like iPhones and iPads were starting to come to the fore, and I've always had a keen eye on technology. So I guess with Plamen's concepts around partnerships and doing things properly, doing things well, and I was sort of my energy and my determination with technology, we combined these things, and we came up with the early concepts of what is now my intro, which was essentially asking hiring managers what their challenges were in and around recruitment, what their frustrations were, writing them down, and then trying to address them with process systems. And the overriding elements were, if you can make recruitment more objective, you can make it more predictable, and ultimately people will pay for that because they pay for it in every other walk of life. And that's what we did, and we managed to achieve this. People hear this 96% statistics, and that seems to ring true. I don't think it doesn't seem to ring true. It does ring true right across the iIntro network for just about all recruiters that use iIntro. 96% of the candidates who are replaced remain in situ for 12 months or longer, and that's
great. Well, once again, on behalf of James and
Joe. Oh, we've lost
Plamen's frozen as well, I think.
Oh no, it can't happen.
Technology. So I can't actually hear anybody else. Plamen's frozen, and Joe and James, I can't hear you. I can only see you.
Right. Everybody else, sling everyone out then. We need to start again.
Plamen's back. Plamen's back.
Thank you, everybody. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, listen.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
There we go. We had our first little technical hit there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, life can't go without tech.
We've got a holding pattern of people coming in, and I want every single one of these people. I want to talk to them for 30 minutes. I feel really cruel now. There's so much great content coming out, and we're going to summarize a lot of this in some posts this week as well, because there's a lot of great content coming out.
Absolutely. Well, let's bring our next guest, who actually follows on quite nicely from Paul and Plamen, because actually he extended their business into Europe, and we've got Eli Barenholz who's going to join us from the Netherlands. But actually, I think if I'm right, he's going to be in a Ducati garage.
Yes,
wow.
I am, and
there we go.
having me on. Yeah, they're servicing my bike at the moment because I'm preparing for a 10-day trip, and everything needs to be in order. But still, happy to log on and talk to you guys and your viewers now, and hopefully the users of iIntro if they're smart.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Eli, that's very good. It's a while since we had you on the show, Eli, and it's funny. It just follows on from the point that Paul was making about 96%, because we were talking to you about that retention issue. But we don't necessarily want to focus on that particular piece today. But obviously, you've had amazing success. You're a small business yourself, so probably worth you just giving us a brief introduction of some of your success. And then Joe's got a question for you.
Okay. Well, I think I'm one of the first external clients, let's say, of iIntro. I became a partner of the GrassGreener company for the European market. So my company is called GrassGreener Europe. We are at the moment just a two-man band. We used to be with 7, but before my recruitment career, I had a production company with 1,100 people. So I'm not enthusiastic about having lots of staff anymore, especially at my age, close to retirement. What I can tell everybody else is what I did, I think, when I was first on your show is it's been quite a turnaround after we started working with iIntro. We came from contingency to a retained search very, very quickly. We had very interesting financial results, I think, for a two-man company. Doing $1 million plus still is quite exceptional. And for those who are still in doubt, it actually works as long as you view the product not as a piece of software, as long as you view recruitment not as transactional anymore. Those days are gone, especially with the coming of age of AI. You have to forget about transactional recruitment. You're a trusted advisor first, and then you're an executive search or a recruiter for the company. Just like Paul said, sit down with your client, question them, where are your problems, what are you up against, and then come up with a solution. And iIntro is the methodology that carries it. In short, Joe, you had a question for me. Shoot.
Yeah, so I almost think to a certain degree you've answered it. I think your journey sort of moving from transactional through to a retained is really interesting. And people can find you, GrassGreener Europe, can find you on LinkedIn. Trusted advisor first, I think, is also really, really interesting. We'd like to ask you, based on your journey, if you were to give one piece of advice to the market right now, recruitment business owners out there, what would that be?
Well, first of all, if you're still doing it, stop transactional recruitment. It will disappear in the next couple of years. AI will make sure of that. And if you're not a trusted advisor, then clients will use AI tools to do, let's say, the transactional piece themselves. Focus not anymore on finding candidates, focus on selecting candidates. That's what you need the methodology for. And you'll bring added value to your client that he cannot accomplish on his own. The retention figures still are very, very important. I heard Paul talk about 96%. We're at 98% after 1 year. We're going to 96% after 2 or 3 years. That's extremely high. And if we investigate the market in Europe, the average retention is 68% of the type of roles we do. So just for CFOs and companies, the results are 38% higher. And every entrepreneur, every CFO will get on board if you can prove that.
Yeah, that's excellent advice.
Eli, listen, we do appreciate you coming in. Particularly, I knew you were stopping off at the garage to get your bike ready. I hope you have an amazing trip.
Thank you very much.
Europe.
And for everybody listening, good luck. Good luck.
Appreciate you.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. I love the conviction in that as well. You know, no messing. Transactional will be over in a couple of years. You need to move to retained and embedded. I really love that. I think we've just about broken the back of this. We're about halfway through, not running that late, which is good. And we've still got quite a lot of other. We probably hexed ourselves now completely, but we'll see. Yes, so we've got another couple of people in the wings waiting.
Yes.
Yeah, we just want to say, Louise Swindles, hello, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Louise.
And a massive hi to Ben Brett. So I've known Ben Brett probably since the beginning of my training career. In fact, I think Ben was probably one of the first people that I worked with when I went into recruitment training. And that was 17 years ago, Ben. So lovely to see you here and I hope you're well.
Great. Well, listen, let's bring our next guest in. I'm delighted to say a recurring guest because everything she says people just latch on to those words. So, and she's a live wire. I mean, our shows just go like that, you know. We had 30, 45 minutes just disappear. So let's welcome in Jem Bevan of SocialJems. Is she here? Yes, she is.
I thought we upped it to an hour every time I were on.
Well,
I mean, you've got literally 4 minutes. I know you can talk quickly, but yeah, how are you doing, Jem? Thanks for joining us. I know you kind of squeezed us in today in the middle of quite a lot of client meetings that you've had.
I know it's been a mental day today, but do you know what? I always like doing this with you because I always come off high energy, so it helps my calls later anyway.
Oh, good. That's good.
We get the same, don't we, Joe? We get the same feedback back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how we're going to fit anything into 4 minutes with you, Jem. But Jem is an absolute LinkedIn guru. If you want to know anything about LinkedIn, doing it yourself or getting someone else to do it for you. Jem is your girl. So Jem has a company called SocialJems, so you can find her there. You can find Jem on LinkedIn as well. We would love to hear your top tips for recruitment business out there with LinkedIn. What should we be doing or not doing, as the case may be?
Letting us teams be vocal on there, because actually there's a lot of power in that, and everyone actually being out there talking to new people, establishing relationships with potential clients, and a lot of people feel what they're going to say. But actually just enabling them to, at the end of the day, and I'm going to sound awful if I say this, but if we're worried about what they're going to say, we've not hired the right people. We need to be, at the end of the day, we've brought all these people in, the recruiters, they're client-facing roles. They need to be getting to know people. And the way they get to know people is by being vocal on LinkedIn. And I don't mean by just posting and ghosting. I mean creating content. I mean starting conversations with your ideal clients. And I mean jumping into inboxes, but giving them some value rather than a pitch slap.
I love that phrase, a pitch slap.
I know. I know. And also I'm going for posting and ghosting as well. That's amazing. Yeah, that's very good. Because this is the thing, isn't it? At the minute, you know, just posting and then running off, and that's not what LinkedIn's about anymore. It's all about the engagement.
It is. It's all about, effectively, they want to build a community. So any content that's being shared on LinkedIn, if it's from a company page, it's never going to get as much traction as a personal account, which is why you and your team wants to be on LinkedIn talking on your personal accounts rather than your company pages. Now they're actually tracking everything. So even as much as stopping time on posts. So are people actually stopping on that post, reading it? Are they leaving a thoughtful comment? If your comments and everything that you're actually putting online is great post, thanks for sharing, love this, then LinkedIn's actually now going to class you as an AI bot and actually stop your growth. So it'll stop your post being pushed out to a further audience. It can even remove some of the comments that you're actually making. So now it's not just important to be visible, it's being visible in the right way to show that you're actually adding showcasing some of your knowledge, letting people get to know you, actually actively getting involved and adding value in other people's content as well, not just, for want of a better term, standing on your soapbox and just projecting your message.
And listen, what I got from that as well, Jem, is it just reminded me of what our parents used to tell us, that, you know, we now realize that short comments on LinkedIn are a little bit like smoking. They stunt your growth. So, you know, that's one of those things you're going to have to watch out for.
It is true. And literally, if you've got to think, like, there's all these posts out there, there's loads of different points most of the time in every post that people are creating. But if you just pick up on a little bit of that and actually say, do you know what? This bit spoke to me. This is my thoughts and feelings on this. And then ask a question. Continue that conversation. Then all of a sudden, when you jump into someone's inbox to have a conversation with them, they don't think, oh, they're going to try and sell to me. They're like, oh, that person that I've been talking to already wants to talk to me a little bit more. They want to get to know me. And I'm not saying that every single person that you speak to on LinkedIn and every post you comment on is going to generate your business straight away. It's not. But by being active and doing all this stuff, you're ensuring that you're at the forefront of people's minds when they are making these decisions.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Always fantastic advice from Jem Bevan from SocialJems, and we shall have her back on very soon, actually. I think we shall see you again, Jem. So we really do appreciate you giving up some time today to join us on our 100th episode. Appreciate you being here, and we look forward to seeing you in the very near future.
Thank you, Jem.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Well, Joe, we're going to move now. We're going to actually move across to North America to our friends in Canada. And 4 years ago, in May of 2022, I think you were away at the time, Joe. I actually had the pleasure of talking to our next guest, who's a guy called David Perry from Perry Martel search in Canada. And there he is. You're still looking as young as ever, David.
Congratulations. 100 posts is exceptional. And you guys know how much the industry has changed in just the last 2 years, let alone 5. So happy to be here.
Well, listen, we're delighted, and Joe, it's your first time to meet David. But David and I had some lengthy conversations. It was it was both a retained recruiter show and also an extended podcast, because there was so much energy and information that was coming out from David in that time. Because David, I hope you don't mind me saying, you've got a good few years experience that you can lean back on, haven't you?
Yeah, it's 4 decades now, man. 4 decades.
And listen, David is also a renowned author, and one of the things that we'll be sharing with people later on is how they can go and have a look at his one of his latest books, which I think talks about the changes that have happened, as you mentioned there, David, in the last couple of years. So, why don't you give us some more information on that?
You know, I find that most recruiters are still playing a 3.0 game in a 4.0 world, and they confuse activity now with impact, and applicants with candidates, and speed with quality. And in 2026, this is what you guys asked me to talk about. In 2026, recruiting is not about filling seats. It's about identifying and attracting and assessing and installing leaders who can change the trajectory of a company. That's what 2026 is. That's what recruiting is all about now. You know, and what recruiters still get wrong is they start with the wrong thing. They start with the job description. And in 2026, that's not good enough. AI is changing work. Companies are running leaner. Every senior hire has to justify their seat by changing the business. So the right place to start is the mission. What does this leader have to build, fix, scale, defend, or transform? Once you know that, then you can define the leader, then you can go to the market. And most recruiters are still chasing applicants, and the best executive search work is not about finding people who are looking. It's about finding people who are not looking. And this means using the market, using pointers, and understanding who has already solved the kind of problem your client's facing. And the other thing recruiters get wrong is they confuse speed with quality. AI, you guys already talked about it. AI can make recruiting faster. But if you do not know what great looks like, AI just helps you make the wrong hire more efficient. And you're seeing a lot of that. And so what actually works is mission first, evidence-based assessment, candidate truth-telling, and proper integration after the hire. The offer is not the finish line. Day 1 to day 90 is where the hire becomes a force multiplier or very expensive resumes.
Yeah. Well, listen, David, I mean, I remember that from our conversation, because actually, believe it or not, I still take snippets of that, because there's some great little insights you gave us a few years ago. And you give me some great insights now about moving from 3.0 to 4.0. And I think down on the underneath that's running through on the banner is a link to, so people can share, revolutions need leaders, and a little bit they can get that. And I know there are some samples on your website that people can start to read the first thing, because I downloaded them last week, by the way. So some great insights on that. So thank you for sharing those with us and making those. But and I know you just your own methodology that you've honed and fine-tuned over the last 4 decades. I know there's just a kinship in terms of the way that we work, in terms of delivering high-quality work, which is focused on business outcomes, not just putting bums on seats. Is that fair?
Yes.
Good. Joe, any questions for our esteemed guest?
Yes, a very quick one. Will you come on our show, please, in the next few months?
Absolutely. Joe, you should know that. Plamen will tell you, so will James. I think you guys are doing a lot right, far more than anybody else in the space. You were late because I think you were late coming into the space. You had the opportunity to look at what was working, what wasn't working, and talk to clients so that you understood what they expected. And that's what you built. You built a delivery engine. So yeah, I'm always happy to talk to you guys. Not an issue.
Well, listen, I appreciate. I know it's not super early, but it is early. It's 8:35 or 8:40, whatever the time is now, or 8:50 in the morning.
God, I've been up since 5. Come on, guys. Give me a break. That's military. You never stop.
I know you never stop, and you never are. You're a hardworking, and again, everyone can look up to you, David. You're fantastic. Please go look at David's website. Connect with him on LinkedIn. He's a fabulous guy, and we look forward to welcoming you back at some point in the future, David. Thank you very much for joining us.
Can I leave you with one last?
Of course.
In the 4.0 world, the question is not who has done this job before. The question is, who has solved the kind of problem that your client is facing now? That's the difference. Focus on that.
We're going to pick that question up. We're going to re-quote it out in a link later on in the next few days. Thank you very much, David.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
Thanks, David. That's great. Don't fill jobs, solve problems. Love it.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's something that's dear to our hearts, and well, we always focus on business outcomes. Now, listen, our next guest, Joe, is somebody who joined us, I think, as a very young man at the time, and I thought he made a very brave step to create his own business, and he's built a fabulous business over the last year. So I'm delighted to welcome our next guest, James Pickering of Vision Executives. James, there you are.
Hello.
There he is.
Well, James, lovely to welcome you back on this show. And obviously, you may not recall this, but you came on not long after you'd actually become a client of iIntros, and you had some amazing early successes. So just interested to see, how's your journey moved on over the last 3 to 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty wild. It's been up and down. God, it feels like there's been so much going on in the world over the last 5 years. And I think, well, economically, it does make it challenging for recruitment. Because you never know where you're at. Budget's constantly changing. We work a lot, obviously, as you know, in the healthcare space. So from a regulatory perspective of everything that's gone on in the US, with Trump coming in, has been, massive challenge, not just for us, but for his clients. And then the tariffs and getting products into the US. So it's been a wild time, but, I'm glad to say we've just finished his 5th year in the business and going into year 6, and we're 31% up year on year. So getting there eventually.
Yeah, well, listen, James, a lot of that is down to the hard work and effort that you put in at the time, and when you started the business, and you've now built a team around you as well. So that's fantastic as well. So congratulations on building a team as well.
Thank you. And that's probably been, one of the most challenging things overall, is getting a good group of people around you. There's been some ins and outs, and I still think for recruitment businesses going forward, getting the right people on the bus is probably one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
And that's a nice little reference to Good to Great from Jim Collins there. So well done you. You've obviously been
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've so your business has grown. We're asking people to come on who have done exceptionally well, but also have a story to tell. Like you said, you've got the scars to prove it. And we have a lot of people who are listening who are maybe thinking about setting up or are already running a small recruitment business with a view to grow. What would your top tips be if you were to give dispense any advice from your lived experience, James?
A tough one, but I think one of the reasons that kind of been relatively successful in the team at Vision Executives has been quite successful is because we've stuck to his niche in a lot of senses. We know what we're good at, and we've built around the eye care industry, and started building out individual sectors and markets and capabilities across the entire niche. That's probably been the number one thing that helped us diversify within the eye care itself. But then, now we're starting to look outside of eye care, what's next? Because, the problem with being in a niche is you can somewhat bottleneck yourself. And speaking of stuff like your tariffs and your regulatory changes, that can also then have a negative impact. So I think overall, sticking in your niche, building a long-term strategy. For example, LinkedIn is our number one. I think we're over 30,000 followers across his different consultants' pages, nearly 1 million impressions last year on LinkedIn, which certainly helps basically get you to front of mind from a marketing perspective. So yeah, I think sticking to your niche, sticking to your guns, and then obviously going over to more retained business has probably been one of the biggest changes as well.
Good. Well, and James, you made that transition very successfully, and obviously, working with us here at iIntro, we have a white label service that we offer to people. And I wanted to say, I think your renaming of the iIntro platform was the most amusing one I've seen in the last 10 years. And for those who know James, well, it's good because he calls it iIntro because he's in the ophthalmology and vision market. It's fantastic. So well done for whoever is your marketeer who came up with that name. It certainly wasn't me. Oh, well done.
I think it was James Lai, actually.
It maybe was.
I think it was your team.
Well done, James.
Listen, James, thanks for joining us today on our 100th episode. It's been fabulous having you here. We're so pleased to hear your journey. We'd love to have you back at some point in the near future to share a bit more about this, particularly talk about how you built your team and that focus on staying in your niche. So that's really fascinating as well. So appreciate you joining us today.
No worries. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, James.
Well, Joe, we're running up towards the end of our hour. We've got the last 5 minutes left, so I think we can bring in our last guest. But just before we bring our last guest, listen, we're here to help you. And as Joe said at the beginning, we look, the whole purpose of the Retained Recruiter Show is to educate and inform people in the recruitment industry, so you can actually pick up ideas, snippets of information, take them away, learn from them. But get in touch with us. There's a link there, retainedcall.com. Book a meeting with us, because we love to share ideas. It's not just a sales pitch, or what's it called? A pitch slap? I don't know, whatever Jem said.
Pitch slap, James.
No, it wasn't. But have a chat with us, because we like to share ideas. It's what we do best. Now, speaking of ideas, our next and last guest today is a guy who needs no introduction, but BRAD SHACKLETON. We've worked closely with Brad on a number of events, and here he is today.
There he is.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
The combine harvester down there somewhere in the Sussex Downs.
I know, is it in a corn?
How are you?
Yeah, we're very well, Brad. Thanks for joining us down our 100th episode.
Thank you. There's a reason why I'm wearing this hat, as I prepared for what you suggested. What should recruiters be doing more, or top tips? And I wear this hat for a reason, that we've got to wear a lot of different hats in the recruitment game. That we as recruiters and business owners ask our recruiters to wear lots of different hats. This is my Akuba countryman that I bought when I spoke out in Australia last year at the RCSA event. So a bit of fun to be a little bit different, but I love my hats. And for me, with the 5 minutes that I've got, it's about, you've got to wear different hats. And I made some notes here for you that we talk about the perfect lap in Formula One, which we did a masterclass last week. It was wonderful to work with you. Yeah, it was sold out. It was hugely successful. If we're not linked in, then please link in with me and check out the post and the success we had. And what came out of that is that everyone's just trying to wear so many different hats. I'm a sales leadership coach, so I just want to talk about sales in the next 5 minutes. And for me, it's about a common theme that we discussed in the masterclass. We've built a community, and people are now feeding back their light bulb moments. And I thought I'd share the summary of that for people to apply. Number one is knowing why you're in business and why you do what you do. If it's just to make money, and I'm going to run my timer here, if it's just to make money, but that's what everyone wants to do. And we discussed this last week in London at the Dixon on Tower Bridge. But it's why do you want to make money and what's it for? Because sometimes days are hard, business is hard. Sometimes it's shining. This is where I live. This is where I look over. But it's not always like that. Sometimes the crops aren't growing and we've got heavy weather. One thing we talked about last week is there's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing. And that part of that is that we've got to wear different hats for different market conditions. So know why you're in business so that you're ready to face some tough market conditions. You've got a lot of competition, and yes, AI is almost becoming a competitor in itself. Know why you're doing what you do. The second thing, and who's it for? Family, loved ones, yourself, lifestyle, but document that, and lots of people don't. The second thing, with 4 minutes to go, define your mission. So we can all have 3-year, 5-year plans. To me, they're predominantly documented on a spreadsheet. The board love it. The chairman loves it. The FD loves it. But that doesn't work for a recruiter. And I got into recruitment in 98. I joined Robert Walters and I became one of the global top billers and £1 million biller. It wasn't about my 3-year growth plan. It was about what am I going to do in the next 6 months to retain my best clients and best candidates, and how am I going to go and find more? So I see it as a little bit like this tree. The base of that tree are all the people I know, and the higher we climb, a bit more dangerous, and we risk breaking our neck. We know tons of people where there's more business and more deals to be won. You don't always have to climb that tree to find more. Lovely Jem Bevan, she talked about the use of LinkedIn. I totally agree with her. Be authentic. My goal, and I've talked about it on my first gig in 2013, speaking at the Recruitment Agency Expo, you've got to get known, but then you've got to get likes and you've got to get trusted. So I agree. If you just post, but you don't follow up with the people that have commented, that's not cool. If you're going to comment on someone else's post, make sure you show them the courtesy of the fact that I've replied to your reply and to like it. And so you work out for me on LinkedIn who's genuine and who's just trying to showboat. And for me, and the reason I take this a step further, is that how many of us will see 50 likes on a post? I did a post the other day, what defines a great masterclass, over 50 likes. I'm going to reach out to every single one of those people to thank them for their time, for liking my post. And then I want to take some interest in how you're getting on, how's life, just to, number one, thank them. But actually that could be lead generation for me. Can I help them? Do you want to meet up for a coffee? But you've got to be authentic on LinkedIn, because also you can see which posts are written by AI and which ones aren't. And I've never used one piece of AI to write any of my posts. So am I a dinosaur or am I just authentic? So I think AI is great for efficiency, but what's most important is just be you. And what I mean by be you is be the best that you can be, and know why you're doing what you're doing, know your mission, know what you want. And here's the most important thing when it comes to pitching and which hat do I wear for which client or which market. You've got to know what you offer, and you've got to know how your value in your offer meets that client's requirement. It's not about you trying to screw in, this is why you should hire me, but what do you need and what does the market need? And your best clients and candidates will tell you, and they'll help you because they're your ambassadors, to define your pitch. So you need the perfect lap. James loves his golf, the perfect drive. I won't lie, I like the perfect pint here in Sussex. So what's the perfect pitch with 90 seconds to go? You've got to make sure that you communicate to your clients. I've got to get known, liked, and trusted. So what do they want to hear in 60 seconds for a networking event or a 60-minute board meeting and a corporate presentation? When I used to present to UBS, Warburgs, Credit Suisse, major accounts that I won, I wanted to make sure that they knew who I was, what was my expertise. Not just I'm a recruiter, Robert Walters. People don't buy companies, they buy people. So let's forget the company, you're buying from me. And who am I? What do I do? And who are my clients if I can share? If I can't share for confidentiality, what's the profile of the sort of companies and scale? Medium to large size corporations, UK and international, 250 people plus. Oh, he's at that level. But then they want to know, well, how have you got here? What's your company backstory? What's your personal backstory? And why not throw in some personal thing? And by the way, it's pretty relevant to sales, but I was in the X Factor, so I know all about singing a song in front of 25,000 people when it comes to knowing how to pitch. You're in the X Factor. So you want to create conversation than just being a robot. And I think the most important thing, and I will offer this to all recruiters with 30 seconds to go, people don't know how you do what you do and what makes you different unless you share it with them. So when you want to take them into the shop and say, look, do you want to come down behind the counter and let me give you a virtual tour of the office and use video? People talk about video like it's new. I was sending people pieces of video to open doors and close deals 15 years ago. Like, video is key, like I'm doing now, than me sending you an email. An email's for the 90s. It confirms the minutes of a meeting and the minutes and the details of terms and conditions of a deal. But a video can open doors and close doors. And when I say to people, but I'm not sure, I wasn't sure, but I care more about my why, what I do, and my mission than what anyone thinks about me on LinkedIn, because the market's big, the cake is small, and that can pay us all real well. So let everyone know how you do what you do and what makes you different. Share some results. And my last piece with 10 seconds, share your philosophy for success. That my goal with you, working with you, Mr. Client, is not just to transact with you. The transaction comes at the end. Understand you, understand your business, understand your culture, and not a candidate like it's a piece of product, but what you're looking for in that individual, their attitude, their skills, their knowledge, experience. And I will go away and map that market, come back to you and present you, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to build a partnership because I'm not a supplier. And that's how I won limited exclusivity with Goldman Sachs, UBS, Warburgs, Credit Suisse, Commerce Bank, Abbey National, UBS, Warburgs. All these banks I won as one of 10 that I was competing for to win their business exclusively. So in 5 minutes, I hope that's helped what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. And don't get scared of AI. Yes, make it more efficient, but don't let AI overtake you, because people can spot it. And ultimately, AI won't open the door, let you walk in there, shake hands, high five, and close the deal. Only you can. So be you. Make sure for the day you're wearing the right hat.
Well done, Brad. Listen, you've packed a punch in those few minutes. So appreciate you joining us on our 100th episode. We look forward to welcoming you back at some point in the future. It's been great working with you, particularly very closely over the last couple of weeks or so. And we look forward to catching up with you again.
James, I can't wait till we're doing our next masterclass in September. Let's go, buddy.
Absolutely. We'll see you there. Thanks very much, Brad.
Thank you. Got to go.
Thanks, Brad. Wow.
Well, Joe, that was a whirlwind. Not just Brad at the end, who's a whirlwind every time we see him, but so much energy from so many of our guests that I found today. And I do hope that people found the time to make some notes and take down some of those insights that people shared, because that's what's going to make the difference as we go through the remainder of this year. So that's that. So what a great show to mark our 100th.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I think there's been some, I've been writing things down as everyone's been coming in, and I think there's been some patterns. I think, diversify, but stay true to your niche. You use technology, but don't lose sight of the fact that you're a human being at the end of the day. And that's going to be your differentiator through and through. We will share lots of this knowledge, lots of these clippets as we move forwards now. And I genuinely think for our 200th show, James, we should do that, but in person. Just massive event. How cool would that be? And if anything, I think it shows that in recruitment, there's lots and lots of people who are happy to give their advice, and what a community we have. And a lot of people sit out there, I think, feeling isolated, not really knowing the way to turn, not knowing who to talk to. I think just reach out. Every single person who's been on our show, myself, James, everybody who we work with, are all more than happy to have conversations. Nobody needs to be out there struggling in a tough market alone. So and I'm thankful for everybody who's watched as well, because you've made this show what it is. So thank you to everybody.
Joe, you're right. It has been good. I just want to, before we disappear, just want to make a little thank you. We've said, we've been joking, you and I, about the technical, but behind the scenes, Julie Lou has been working hard just to make sure that all went seamlessly. It's not us pressing buttons and having banners flicking across. It's not us letting guests in and out. We wouldn't have a clue, Joe and I. But Julie, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes and coordinating all the guests today. And Joe, listen, it's been my pleasure working with you for 100 episodes. So that's been fantastic as well. So I look forward to our next 100 together.
Yes. Yeah. Let's hope so. No, it's been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed it, and I've learned loads as well. You never stop learning, So thank you very much, guys. We've got some really great guests coming up over the next couple of shows. So our shows are every fortnight, so 2 weeks after this, so on and so forth. Yeah, we've got some fantastic guests lined up, plus everybody that we've had on today who's hopefully going to come back. So amazing.
And our parting gesture, it's goodbye from me,
and it's goodbye from me.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Take care.